What's happening, everybody? I'm Anarka. It's time to talk about Throw and the 2010 album Believe. Now, if you never heard of Throw before, I'll just give you a little bit of a background on this band. Throw was formed in 2000 by Manta, the former guitarist and songwriter and vocalist of legendary 80s Pinoy hardcore punk band Dead Ends. I've talked about them in depth on this channel. Go watch my reviews of Dead Ends Complaints, Dead Ends Second Coming, and Dead Ends Damnation to learn more about that band. But just to give you a little bit of a history briefer, Dead Ends were the first Pinoy punk rock band to put out a full-length record in the 80s underground scene. Yes, Third World Chaos New for Error technically was the first Pinoy punk band to put out a vinyl record, but that was on Tower, it was mainstream. Dead Ends claimed the trophy for the first underground full-length record, although it was a cassette tape, because that's what TRC put out back then. But Dead Ends was founded by Al DeMolanta and Jay DeMolanta in the early 80s, and they put out Complaints, Second Coming, Damnation in the 80s, and then Mama the Song Guy was their final album in 1995 until, unfortunately, in 1996, Jay DeMolanta passed away in his sleep. Rest in peace to his soul. Now, the reason I bring this up is because if you've seen the cover of Complaints, and then you look at the cover of Believe, you'll notice many similarities. Key similarity is on the cover of Complaints, Jay DeMolanta is pissing on the side of a wall with Complaints spray painted over his head. On the cover of Believe by Throw, Jay is not pissing on the wall, but it's another brick wall with Believe in white. The B and the E in Believe is like chalk. It looks like it's scribbled up there in chalk, as well as the suffix V and E. So BE and then VE are scribbled in chalk, and lie, the three middle letters of Believe, are kind of crafted up there in somewhat of a military combat font. It's just emphasizing the word lie is in the word Believe. And the reason that's relevant is because Throw, especially Al DeMolanta being the main songwriter for this album, if you know Al, he's politically spoken. He is very politically charged. He has used his musical platform since he started to speak his mind on various subjects, and if you're going to listen to something by Al, then you got to prepare for some politically charged anthems that are going to change your point of view or challenge your point of view. That's why I love his music. It really does that. But I do like I like the overall design of the album artwork of Believe, because not only does it kind of pay tribute to Complaints, but there's a bunch of different things written all over it, including band member names. Like I see Dennis M on there, I see Albert, I see I think Al Dead Ends towards the bottom under Throw. I think I see Spike on there somewhere. Like, so yeah, there's the name of the band, like the band members. They're written in a darker sort of text or whatever on the already dark brick wall, and notice towards the right-hand side of this album, it's really dark and it's kind of hard to read everything, but on the left side, it's more lit up, and on the bottom left of Believe, there is looks like it's two stick figures. One's saying die. They're sword fighting, it looks like, so there's a lot of stuff going on the album cover of Believe, and I hope one day this gets pressed to record, because this is definitely a lot of thought a lot of thought went into this album right here. On the back, you have the band. You've got Al DeMolanta, guitarist and vocalist, standing there. He's got a Led Zeppelin shirt on. Dennis Maniego to the left. He's got, I think, an Against Me shirt on. He's the bassist. Spike Maniego, the drummer. He's got a shirt that says emo is gay. That's funny as shit. And Albert is going to wearing a Bad Religion shirt. Guitarist and backing vocalist to Throw for this album. Musically, so before I get into that, I should say that on the insert, or the booklet, I should say, of this Throw album, there's a little note in here that says, the drums were recorded at Blaster Studio, the rest were recorded at Throw Home Studio, mixed and mastered by Throw Home Studios, photography and cover design by Richine Castro, produced by Throw Incorporated at Counterflow Records, January 2010. So yeah, that's where this album was kind of a home-based thing. This album is dedicated to Jay DeMolanta, Louis Gang, and Jay Batista. May they all rest in peace in hardcore heaven. Wes Lou is another name for Louis Gang, but Jay DeMolanta, as I mentioned, he was the bassist of Dead Ends, Al's brother, and I just went into the cover of how this is similar to Complaints. Louis Gang, or Wes Louis, he was a very legendary drummer, similar to Jay being a legendary bassist. Wes Louis played in GI, Private Stock, Puerto Ska, you name it. Legendary drummer, Jay Batista. May they all rest in peace in hardcore heaven. Now, getting to the music of this album, so I have been listening to Believe religiously lately over the past few weeks now. I've owned this album for a year or so, which I get dozens of albums on a weekly basis, so it's kind of hard for me to keep up with things, but I've listened to this album before, but just recently I picked it up and it kind of just hit me. The album is politically charged. Most of the songs Refuse, Warlord, Turn It Around, Believe, some of the songs are politically charged, some of the songs are socially charged, which one thing that sticks out to me the most about Believe is, for the first time I've heard this on a record that Al's done, it's kind of a soft touch sort of song, which you could kind of say the same for Dreamer, the song by the Dead Ends from Complaints, and the secret track on Second Coming. But still, even with Dreamer, there is sort of a negative connotation behind it, because the song is about, people who chase their dreams are only sleeping, like when they wake up, they don't, you're back to your stupid life again. When you're daydreaming, you're out there, you're doing what you want inside of your dreams, but when you wake up, you're back to reality. And a lot of people just chase their dreams in their sleep and they don't go after it in reality. But Refuse, Warlord, This Government, Election, Borrowed, Screw Yourself, Sweet Revenge, politically charged songs. Al wrote Refuse. It's a song about refusing to be complacent, taking shit from the government, authority figures, and all that. I will say, so a few weeks ago I played this album at 7-Eleven, because I worked there at night, and the wrong customer came at the wrong time. After Al's solo there, he screams, "Fuck you, you stupid hypocrite!" And I play a lot of punk rock over the speaker system, and even stuff that cusses a lot, it's kind of hard to hear because punk rock is noisy. Well, that line, "Fuck you, you stupid hypocrites," is so outspoken and so loud and so bold that the wrong customer heard it, and I got a little bit of a lecture for that, but it's all good though. Yeah, Refuse is just a song about refusing to be complacent with it's just refusing to be complacent with the government and social norms and all that. We refuse to be abused again, refuse to be made fools again, refuse to be misused again, refuse to be used again, refuse to allow corruption to destroy our lives. Next song on here is called Warlord, written by Albert Ascona and Alden Manta. "Look at me, I'm a warlord, I can do anything I want. Kneel before me, I'm your warlord, I can take you any time of day." Warlord is just kind of a goaty, braggy, what do you want to call it? A song about a dictator or a warlord boasting about his power, his or her power over his subjects, kneel before me, do as I say, I love my money, I love my army, this and that. It's just the typical egotistical, just the mentality of a warlord, of a dictator, which I love the way the song is written, because you can really, if you want to really push the envelope, you can say, "Look at me, I'm Duterte," or Trump, or Putin, or Xi, or any dictator, any warlord out there. You can, the way the song is written, you can substitute warlord with a politician's name to make it really sink in, And I love, so I've mentioned this before with Dead Ends. Al's got he's really good about making a seriously politically charged song, but adding some sarcastic comedic value to it. And this song is definitely an example of that. So the last verse goes, "People love me, people hate me, but one thing's for sure, they'll fear me. I love my money, I love my army. I love the weapons that I bury in my yard. I love this government that protects me as long as I give them what they need. But I do love all my subjects, so kiss my ass and I'll spare your life." Those last two lines. "But I do love all my subjects, so kiss my ass and I'll spare your life." It's the way he says it So the way he shouts that at the end of the song, 'cause this is a fast-paced hardcore punk song with a little bit of solos and a little bit of metal solos. It's just funny the way he throws that last line in there. It's really sarcastic. Kiss my ass and I'll spare your life. It's really hard hitting for, coming from the country that it's coming from. Especially during these times. I mean, I know this album came out in 2010, but imagine playing this today with the current administration and how they like to crack down on censorship and people who oppose them, Pretty brutal stuff. The next song on this is called Turn It Around, which, by the way, Warlord is definitely my favorite song on this album, politically anyway. I like Refuse, but Refuse is second to me. Turn It Around, now this song is special in its own way because, yes, it's got more of a softer touch melodic punk rock thing going on versus hardcore obliteration, and not in that sense. The song was written by Manta, and one thing I love about it is the chorus. Turn it around, turn it, I believe I can make this work. Turn it around. I can't sing. But this song has such a very positive and uplifting vibe to it. And unlike a lot of Al's music where he's shouting or screaming lyrics or just letting it loose, this song illustrates his harmonic vocal abilities, his trained vocals, because he actually sings, I won't say regularly or normally, but Al actually sings a good pitched harmony on the chorus of Turn It Around, and it really does resonate and make the song more of a positive viber. And that's why I've actually been listening to it a lot since I suffer from depression, and like many do. And to someone who has a rather negative mindset quite often because of life, to hear a song like this on a politically charged album kind of does it, because like I said, the first two songs they're not negative, but they're politically charged, they're serious, and this song is saying, hey, where are all my ambitions? Where are all my dreams? I'm searching for a direction. Everything's screwed, it seems. Where are all the things that I work so hard for now? I always think about it. So the song's just about, you lose everything. You're down in the dumps. And, just take what you have and try your hardest to turn it around. I love this line. It's the first day of the rest of my life. Turn it around. I can't sing, but it's a really good, positive, uplifting song, and I like it a lot. It's melodic punk. It's a little softer touch than the other songs in this album, but it goes from there. The next song is called Believe, which is the self-titled song from the album. Which this song is it's a song that's just about people struggling to have faith in others. Whether it's government, society, your parents, your friends, whatever, it's just a song about people struggling to have faith in their peers. It was written by Spike Maniego and Atlanta. It's a really good, it kind of follows off the tail of Turn It Around. It's got a more softer pitch, soft touch melodic punk vibe with some, like, the same sort of lyrical taste and compositional taste that Turn It Around has, the way Al sings it. I dig it. I love it. It's a positive song. I like that. And then after Believe, we get into a song called This Government, written by Al. And so this song took a while to grow on me. I love the verses, but the chorus is what strikes me with the hammer, because the verses go, potholed streets wherever you go, dirty cops watching dirty shows, filthy rivers, filthy whores, the filthy rich and filthy poor. This country is still worth dying for. So, calling out the social climate of what's going on. Our poor old homeland has suffered from neglect, thanks to the work of our useless president. There you go, there's some more sarcastic humor, but politically charged. So this chorus right here is the one that sticks to me. Damn, I hate this government. I really hate this government. We all should hate this government. I really fucking hate this government. So, when I first listened to the song, the chorus is what stuck out to me. Why? Because it's really chanty, which is good. It's good to be chanty because it's easy to remember it. It's catchier. But man, oh man, does it have an anti-flag sort of vibe going on. I shouldn't have to introduce who Anti-Flag is, but for the rare occasion that someone doesn't know who that is, Anti-Flag is a American punk rock band whose entire existence is pretty much, I hate the government. I mean, it's in their name, Anti-Flag. And a lot of Anti-Flag songs are rather chanty and cheap. I mean, I listened to Anti-Flag when I was like 13 years old. I still listen to them occasionally, but like, so many of their songs are really cheap, just the way they're written. And this government, the chorus, I feel like it's just kind of cheap. I mean, not cheap as in a negative connotation, but just damn. It's the way, I guess, that it's saying, or that it's chanted. Damn, I hate this government. I really hate this government. We all should hate this government. I really fucking hate this government. It's just got that kind of a cheap tone to it, which the rest of the song is excellent. You know, they talk about different sectors of society that are just fucked. Potholed streets wherever you go, dirty cops watching dirty shows, filthy rivers, filthy whores, filthy rich and filthy poor, as I've said that before. And you know, we're such a religious nation with so many gods in the bureaucracy. Gambling warlords, drug lords, smuggling lords, and warlords. Is this country worth being killed for? Yeah, so the song does call out some serious topics, and it does address serious topic matter, which is good. Al's best for that, his lyricism. But it's just that chorus, though. I do like the last chorus of the song, because the last line is changed up to, I really fucking hate this fucking government. Al just tosses so many F-bombs in there, so, I've been kind of going back and forth on this song for a while now, because part of me feels like the majority of the song is serious in nature, but then I feel like maybe with that chorus, because the song is called This Government, I'm feeling like maybe with this chorus, Al is potentially mocking, because there's a lot of punks out there, a lot of politically, just rebels, I'll say that word, who hate the government just to hate the government. They'll say fuck the system, but they don't do anything. Or, there's another Philippine punk rock band called The Beauty of Doubt, and they have a song called Antagonist, which is about mocking fake anarchists. You listen to it, it's good. And that, I do get that sort of vibe from the chorus of the song. That he's potentially mocking people who, well, let's say, like, keyboard warriors, since this album came out in 2010, people who go online and, they talk a big game, but they don't actually do anything about it. I mean, that could make sense because, we're such a religious nation with so many gods in the bureaucracy, gambling. That theory kind of does boil down to the second verse there. I mean, I'm not sure. The song does seem serious in nature, especially with the first verse and like I said, the second verse, but I honestly wonder if it's kind of sarcastically or satirically just knocking on those who hate the government, because it does kind of sound like someone who just, fuck the government, man, fuck the government, with no substance behind their argument as to why they hate the government. So that song is interesting for what it is. It's really chanty, it's really good. But it's really interesting on that one. The next song is called Eleccion, written by Dennis Maniego and Aldo Manta. This is the only Tagalog song on the album, which I'm not necessarily sure what it translates to because I'm not fluent enough, but I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with the fraudulent or rigged election, something like that. So it's a good song for what it is. It's nice and fast and hardcore. Choose is another one of these softer touch songs on this album, written by Spike Maniego and Aldo Manta. You spend your life trying to get all the things you ever wanted, whoever takes the fall, but you end up just frustrated. The fact remains that life doesn't allow us to have all. You can't have everything, you have to make a choice. You'll end up just losing what you want the most. That's pretty much what that song's about, You can't have everything in life, so you gotta choose. You gotta make decisions, life's full of decisions. It's a good, like I said, it's more melodic punk with a softer touch to it. Only, it's not as soft as Turn It Around and Believe, but it is on that, it's kind of on that scale there of softer. Now, the next song on this album is called Borrowed, and I actually like the musical change-up of the song. It's by Dennis Maniego and Adam Manta. This song is about just politicians or someone who's, well, you borrowed, you live your life much better than your peers. Who are you to tell them that you understand their fears? You live your life in your ivory tower, so you don't ever pretend that you understand their hunger. Your borrowed wealth isn't really yours. You owe it to the people. Why don't you give it back? Your borrowed wealth isn't yours to abuse, so give it back before we take it away. Yeah, it's just about a politician who, has used the will of the people, or someone who's used the will of the people as stepping stones to get where they are now, and they're fucking them off afterwards. I do like the last couple of lines in this song. As you live your life much better than your peers, Shame on you is repeated over and over. Shame on you, and then shame the fuck on you. Nice F-bomb at the end of it. What I really like about this song is not just the lyrics to it, but it's got a funky guitar going on. The song is really hardcore punk. I mean, yeah, there's a guitar solo in this, but it's got a funk vibe going on. Borrowed is the name of the song. It's kind of changes up the hardcore punk. Because, as I said, Thorough is a hardcore punk band with some crossovers and thrash metal guitar solos here and there, you get that for the majority of the hardcore songs in this album. You get more of a hardcore punk with metal solos here and there. Some of the songs, like I said, are more of a soft touch. It kind of goes back and forth. But Borrowed really changes up the pace of the album, and it goes into this kind of guitar-ish funk sort of riff. And I like that. It's a good little change up there. Screw Yourself. This song is a very sarcastic hardcore punk song. Because I'm not going to read all the lyrics, but screw yourself with your hypocrisy. Mold it into a rod and stick it up your ear. Screw yourself with your hip-hop music. It doesn't take talent to get rich from it. I fucking love that line so much. I'm sorry, I just love that line so much. Since you have nothing better to do, screw yourself with your old chuck shoe. It doesn't matter if it's night or day. Go screw yourself anyway. Screw yourself when your private army use their guns instead of their limp weenies. Good God. I love how this song is written. When Al is actually... this is the fast-paced hardcore punk song with some metal solos. But when you read the lyrics from the lyric sheet without the music, it sounds very humorous. But when you hear the band playing it, it's the way Al takes these very sarcastic sounding kind of comedic lyrics, and he actually makes it sound serious. He actually makes it sound like he's pissed off at people. So I can't really tell if this song is just for comedic value, just mocking society and people, or if it's just, if it's serious in nature. Since you have nothing better to do, screw yourself with your laptop too. Yeah, it says since you have nothing better to do, screw yourself with your laptop too. It doesn't matter if it's night or day, go inside your room and screw yourself. I love the lyrics of this song. The last verse is, since you have nothing better to do, screw your political advisor too. Yeah, so this song is just, it's a fuck you sort of song. I kind of wish the song was called Fuck Yourself, because, it might, I don't know. I guess it does for, if the song is more for comedic value or just mocking, I guess it goes better with Screw Yourself, because screwing, if you tell someone to fuck themselves, that's hard hitting. Screw yourself is kind of, taking the piss out of someone, and that's kind of what that song is, just taking the piss out of them. The next song is called Sweet Revenge. It's written by Al. Oh, by the way, Screw Yourself was written by Alberto Ascona and Adam Manta. I should have mentioned that. Sweet Revenge is hardcore punk. There's another guitar solo in that one. And the song is literally just about getting sweet revenge. Someone fucked you over, so you're going to jump out on and get revenge on them. It's a pretty good song. Now, the last song on this album is called 6. And this song, how do I put this? I don't really listen to the song that much because it's kind of hard to. It's actually written by Alberto Ascona. Al isn't credited on this song, and I'm wondering if I mean, it feels like Al's singing this, but at the same time, it might be Albert Escola singing this song. I'm not necessarily sure. But, yeah, that's how different this song is. It's kind of different tone to it. Like, in how I said to turn it around, believe, choose, and all them are melodic punk hardcore, but there's softer touch with some more harmonic vocals. Yeah, that's what this song is. The last song on the album is called Six. The song is just about a relationship that pretty much fell apart. You're reminiscing over the past of the relationship, the good times and all that. And now you're gone and I'm back to old stupid me. Yes, I know you're free to have a normal life to lead. I hope you're happy. Now I'll always carry your name, just like a scar. And I'll never be the normal guy you've known. At least you're happy. The song is just about a breakup. Which, there's a line here. And I'll always carry your name just like a scar. Now, I wondered if that is a reference to in the Philippines, divorce is illegal. Like, I don't know if it's illegal, it's just that you can't get divorced over there, you get an annulment. But a lot of times in the Philippines, a married couple, like let's say they'll split up, but they still carry the name of the wife carries the husband's name. So I'm wondering if this is written in the perspective of a woman who has left a marriage, separated, but she still got her husband's name, something like that. Because that's one line that is kind of telling this, and the essence of the song is just about a relationship or a marriage that just didn't work out, and parties have moved on. One of the parties has moved on, and they're happier and so forth. I don't really like this. Isn't my favorite song from this album because I don't really listen to music like this because for all of you who know me personally, I've been in a relationship since July 2016. I've been married for about a year now, or over a year, to a Philippine woman, and out of the 4 years we've been together, I've only been physically with her for a year of that time, and songs that are about love and romance and relationships I don't tend to fancy because not trying to emo is gay, Spike Maniego shirt there, not trying to be all emo about it, but yeah, for the essence and the message behind the song, it's a good song. It's got a softer touch to end the album, and it's pretty good for what it is. It's just not really my cup of tea because, I don't like that subject matter, but and also kind of for even a throw album, it is kind of a different ender note there, but, it's a decent song for what it is, and considering we have Turn It Around, Believe, and Choose, 3 songs that have more of a lighter, softer touch to them, it does musically fit on the album, and it is a good closer. You have Refuse, which is a hardcore punk song that opens up the album. It's got some metal solos in there. Warlord, which is politically charged. Turn It Around, which is a softer touch with some harmonic vocals. Believe carries the same light. This Government, like I said, is kind of chanty with some sarcastic humor in there. Election, which is politically charged, fast, and in Tagalog, which I love that about it. It pays homage. Choose, which is another like the melodic touch with a lighter vibe to it. Borrowed, which is some punk rock, but with some funk riffs in there. Some you live your life. It's a good change up. Screw Yourself is fast paced. It's got some comedy in them lyrics, taking the piss out of things. Sweet Revenge, which is back to its hardcore foundation, and then finally Six, which closes the album with a very soft melodic punk rock touch with some harmonic vocals, written by Albert Escola. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching my review over Throw and their 2010 album Believe. Sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. This room is hotter than hell, and they got a fan on. If I turn that fan on, I'm gonna fucking melt. Anyway, guys, I'm Akaza. Thank you so much for watching this video. And one more thing that's hella important. So I talked about the artwork of Throw's Believe. The front's got Believe on it and so forth. Well, on the back of the CD, the track list is written in what appears to be chalk. Refuse, Warlord, Turn It Around, Believe, This Government, Election, Choose, Borrowed, Screw Yourself, Sweet, Revenge, and Six. and that's on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side of the back appears to be a punker, someone with a mohawk, running. They're drawn on the brick wall in white chalk, and they have throw on the back of their shirt. So I kind of found that interesting. It's a nice little add-on there, and I'm not necessarily sure who that is supposed to be a picture of, potentially Jay or one of those who this album is dedicated to, but if, I know Complaints, the Complaints was actually spray painted on a wall, and that's like a real picture. I'm wondering if, the artwork for, Believe, for the most part, was actually, I wonder if, because it says in the inlay here that I read earlier, it says, photography and cover designed by Rachine Castro. So I'm wondering if those pictures, as I know the picture of the band's picture, but I wonder if the LIE on the front cover does look a little bit computer. That doesn't really look like it's something that, they scribbled on there, but I'm thinking that maybe the front of this is more computer. I don't know. I like the drawings and the design of Believe. It's a really good album. Anyway, guys, I'm Anarka. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about a good band. Definitely go listen to Thorough, and I'll have a link in the description below for you to listen to Al's newest band called As We Defy, and their 2018 EP called Forged in Defiance. It's available for free on YouTube under Al's YouTube channel. It's 7 minutes and 36 seconds long. Definitely a hardcore blaster. And there's English songs and Tagalog songs for those of you who don't really do foreign music. That's another thing about this album is, although I do prefer my Philippine punk rock to have mostly Tagalog music, if you're a foreigner or Westerner like myself and you don't really know Tagalog that much, 90% of this album is English, so you can have a good rockin' time, listen to this and understand it. And if you manage to find the CD somewhere, the lyrics are in the booklet as well as the details of the band and all the good shit you need to know about Throw and Believe. Anyway, guys, I'm Akaza. Thanks for watching this video, and thus vidanya.